One more time, we're here again on your television and on your social media handles. This is AFCON Today. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I'm glad to welcome you to the show. It's been a very, very interesting set of games in the group stage of the competition. And now, what they always say is that the boys have been separated from those who identify as men in the competition. Unfortunately, the story is that Ghana would have to identify with the session that are referred to as the boys. What has gone wrong? What are the situations? Loads and loads of, developments coming in. And of course, we're looking ahead as well to the big games of the weekend. One of them being a cracker. Do the defending champions cause one more time a very big upset, which will, as they describe, end the enthusiasm at home in the competition, or will the hosts step up to the game like they did in 1992 and, of course, in the year 2015? All of these will be discussed here on AFCON Today, as we always do, and I'm glad to have your company here. We'll be picking them one after the other like we always do, and we'll be breaking them down as we always do as well. It's the second round of the competition. Who stays, who goes? Big question indeed. And of course, little bits with Ghana and the developments that have happened so far, including the firing of the head coach, Chris Hughton. Cote d'Ivoire have also bid farewell. Maybe they took a decision a little too early because they still find themselves here, and there's a big window of opportunity. All of these are here over this 1 hour package. Welcome to the show. My name is Nathaniel Atto once again. Very shortly, my guests will be seated, and I'm here backed by the rest of the Joy Sports team. Remember, we're live on Joy News and on Joy Prime. Well, put your hands in the air. That line by, that legendary set of musicians from different parts of the African continent. You do remember Magic System, don't you? We all do remember those hit songs from yesteryear. Well, let's get down to the business. Of course, Yemi Alade, her secret admirer is not here in the studio yet, but let's talk about that later on. Samia Moesi is here with me in the studio, and Stone is also here. Gentlemen, good to have you here. Good to see you.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
So much has happened in the last, 2 or 3 days? So much has happened.
2 days?
Well, 2 days, maybe.
Well, maybe.
All right, we're going to start off with the goals. The goals that have made the difference in this competition. The goals that some so badly would have craved to have them push a little notch higher on the standings to keep them in the competition. Well, there are some stories that are those of the past and those of Ghana, those of the likes of Algeria, who won the last 2 editions of the competition. But now we have a new set, and we will see them do battle. One of the big surprise elements, obviously, is Cape Verde, who have shown massive strength in this group stage of the competition. Let's begin with the goals, and you will tell me what your picks are for the competition. So there we go. This belter by Pina. I mean, it was a 30-yarder. I would pick the curler from Lamine Camara. I mean, aesthetically, it was there. And of course, there was a bit of a degree of difficulty because you had to bend it into the top corner of the goal. Secondly, I think Kudus, in as much as aesthetically there are more beautiful goals, it looked very simple to score. He had a sea of legs around him. Those are my picks. I don't know. I don't know about you.
My number one is Kudus.
Okay, tell me why.
First of all, it's going up against Egypt. That's number one. You're going up against one of the best defense in Africa, on the African continent. And then he receives the ball. There is a player behind him that you need to, that strength, like it just bounces off him, because of the strength of Kudus. And then there are a sea of Egyptians, about 2-3 players that are all around him. These two slide here, this one from this side, and he still has the nimbleness of mind to put it in that corner. No, to me, that goal, the whole beautiful goals, from this corner, from that corner, from this corner. But if we're talking about technicality, presence of mind, strength, ability just to be, to just have that inspiration and just to be technical, then it has to be Kudus. I'm picking Kudus as number one.
Okay. Sami, what about you?
I mean, it's unfortunate, yeah. Kudus' goal is very great for me, but I think that Lamine has also surprised me because I'm looking at it from this angle. A very young lad comes into this team, making his debut, and just score that belter. And so, a very great goal. You could also make a case for Kudus, just like what Stone is saying. But I think that I'm looking at it from this young lad from the under-20, comes in, joined the team, had a bit of familiarity with them. And so, he coming in, nobody even thought that he's going to even go straight into the team, make the starting 11, and even score at that situation. But you look at how he scored, I think that great goal by our standard for me.
Great goal indeed. Well, so the goals have made the difference. And another thing as well, have these goals and their quality lived up to the expectation for you? Because you see, I mean, this is our flagship brand when it comes to showcasing our football to the rest of the world. Have they lived up to it? I mean, because you're putting this on the same scale as the Euros and, the Copa America and all of that.
But I'm surprised that Bebe's free kick didn't make the top 10, honestly.
That occurred to me too.
Because I think that goal, the precision, and you look at the distance closer to the center line, and then he was able to locate the top spot of the goal post. I think that he should be in the top 10. But, I mean, back to the question that you asked, I think that that's the goal that has come in so far, the top 10 goals that has been rated. And so you can't really, disagree too much because these are the goals that have been produced. You can't really do anything about it than to go with it. And so, yeah, I think the quality of goals, perhaps it's there, but not top notch. But I think, they are goals and you can't really challenge it.
What about you, sir?
Personally, I think that it is representing the African brand well.
Okay.
Because we're not just looking at the Salahs, the Kudus, Osimhen. Look, Osimhen is not here. The top 10. Yeah. He's not here. So Salah is not here. Mane is not here. So these are the big names, and they are not here. So what this shows you is that when you come to the AFCON, young stars can rise up, can show immense talent. And this is the way we do it at the AFCON. It's not just the big names in Europe or the big names in this particular place or the person that you know online or whatever. When you come to the AFCON, we're going to show you new players. We're going to show you young players, young talent that you might not have heard of that can do something that will surprise you. And that's what the African brand is. It is something that is inspiration. It's something that is surprising. You'll be surprised. You'll be like, who is this? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you have, someone like that's a right back. That was a right back before, and then now he's the highest goal scorer at the AFCON. So the AFCON is a surprising thing, but it just brings out names that before you might not have known about them and everything. And then all of a sudden, the person is in starting lineup. You look like Senegal, and then you look at this guy. He used to play in the third division, or he's somewhere, just there. And then all of a sudden, he's scoring from like 30 yards, and then he's the one carrying his nation to the next, to the knockout phase, and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's representing the African brand well, putting us out there that we're not just about the big names and the names that play in Europe. We're about young talents, bringing out people from the grassroots, developing African football, and just putting it out there.
Well, interesting stuff there. In a bit, we're also going to talk about those who have been adjudged the best in the group stage of the competition, or the first stage of the competition. I'm not sure you have any surprises. Lamine Camara, emerging the best player so far, and Coach Aliou Cisse emerging the coach so far, the best coach so far. Well, Aliou Cisse, I always bask in his story with pride because he's come a long way. I mean, he's going into his 9th year, and what a better time to be around a national team that you've captained before.
Yeah, that's true, and I think that is one thing that has to do with consistency. We saw that with Hassan Shiata when he was with the Egyptian national team. Because of consistency, you saw how the glory that he was able to amass. And so for me, I'm not much surprised. And I think credit to the Senegalese FA as well for the belief and the support. I'm not sure that when he started, he had it all rosy. I think that he encountered some challenging times, but because they believed in him, they thought that, listen, regardless of whatever is going to happen, this is the right guy. And so they gave him the back and they gave him the support. And so I'm not surprised that he has been able to make it 3 out of 3. He's won the manager of the first round of the group phase. And so this is what comes with consistency and to believe, regardless what the audience are going to say, this is the right man. Let's give him the room to operate. And because they did that, look at the glory that he's been able to, to bring in so far. And so I will not be much surprised, even if he's able to lead this side throughout the final and even defend the title, because the way they've played throughout the group phase, they look very strong. And I think that any team that will come up against Senegal might have something in mind that how to even stop them, because any other player that comes from the bench is able to make an impact. And that is one key thing that if we are going into a tournament and you're going to win, that is what you have to do. You need to get a proper in-depth. And so when even the starting 11 are really struggling, anyone who comes from the bench will be able to make that impact. And so far what Aliou Cisse has done, you can't really challenge it. And for me, I think that I'm not surprised.
Well, the dreadlocks is doing some magic. Another man who's wearing dreadlocks is Rigobert Song Bahanang. Now, Rigobert Song knows what it means to lift the Africa Cup of Nations. He knows what it means to lead your country to the FIFA World Cup. Now, he finds himself in the saddle coaching. It's been a very, very difficult one. Of course, it goes into his CV as well as having beaten Brazil at the World Cup, but it didn't help them to move further at the FIFA World Cup. So, you're looking at the story of how tough it's been going in these early stages for Rigobert Song as head coach of Cameroon, and how Samuel Eto'o is having to keep faith with him, in very, very difficult circumstances. And you're comparing that story to how, Cisse also started very, very rough.
Yeah.
And yet the people kept faith with him.
Yeah.
Do you see a similar story happening with him?
Sometimes when I look at Rigobert Song, I might have my doubts. But, one thing he did that really, made me to really calm down was the fact that in the second match, in the third match, he put Onana on the bench, which was very important. Because when somebody can, and we spoke about this many times, when someone can disrespect their country in that manner, then he needs to be put on the bench. And we saw the importance of that match for Cameroon and the way they came with heart. Now, Cameroon might not have stars, in quotes.
But the stars we've always known them for.
The Samuel Eto'os, the Patrick Mboma, all those. They might not have all those stars, but they have heart. You cannot be coming to play against Cameroon and just come casually. They are going to run you out of town. That is Cameroon for you. And so I see this man as somebody that, if given the right backing, might be able to do well. And I'm saying might. It's a 50-50 thing. Because
I'm also looking at the scenario if they hadn't done what they did in the third game and they fizzled out. I'm sure by now he would have been a casualty.
Yeah, because if he lost that game, definitely, or he drew, then we're singing another song. It's different. But the thing is this: he was able to deliver a win. Okay, and we have to look at it from that perspective. He has been able to make the tough decisions, and you have to look at it that he doesn't have his talisman. He doesn't have the best player that Cameroon has right now. He doesn't have him on the pitch. Vincent Aboubakar plays for Cameroon this group stage is different. Maybe they win all their games. Maybe they lose one. Maybe they win two. Maybe they get 6 points. Because Aboubakar can change the game by himself. We've seen him many times. And that's why he's my favorite AFCON player. We've seen him many times. Cameroon is down. Just all balls to Aboubakar. Don't worry, something is going to happen. And that is what, and now we've heard that he's back. Yeah. We don't know where he's going to start. I think maybe he's going to start from the bench. 60 minutes, 70 minutes, bring him on and all this kind of, I don't know how fit he is, but is Abubakar 80% fit is enough? But what I'm saying is this.
I mean, we saw some similar with Kudus.
Yes, Kudus was not fit. Came on the pitch, 2 goals. That's the kind of player Abubakar can be at the AFCON. He is the AFCON guy. When you talk about, when you talk about international footballers, you talk about Pele, and all. When you talk about AFCON, you talk about Abubakar. In the past couple of like 6 years or so, you talk about Abubakar because he knows what to do. He knows how to do it. He knows when to do it. He's that guy. He's that man. So I'm keeping faith with him for now and seeing what he does against Nigeria. And if now the question is not if he wins or loses. Now because if you look at the names in terms of paper, Nigeria has the names. Cameroon has Abubakar and Anguissa, and you look at it like that. So if you look at it on paper, now if he pulls off the win against Nigeria, then no matter what happens in the competition, you keep him. You keep him beyond the competition, no matter what happens. Now, if he loses against Nigeria, and then the question now becomes, how did he lose against Nigeria? What kind of loss was it? Was it a humiliating loss? Was it like a 4-0 loss? Was it like a loss of, just beat us like that? What kind of loss was it? And then you have to look critically at it. And I know Samuel Eto'o is very brilliant. There are videos of him, talking with the Cameroonian players, and really encouraging them. And I think, when you have someone, a legend like Eto'o that's done it everywhere, one time top 3 best player in the world and all this kind of stuff, then you have to respect what he has to say. And if he is backing this Rugabek song, then Rugabek song has something to offer. I mean, I can't say I know better than Samuel Eto'o. Who am I? Eto'o has played the game at the highest level. Eto'o, he's intelligent. You listen to him and he talks. He's very intelligent. He's an astute learner of the game. So if Eto'o is backing him, then I'm backing him till the Nigeria match, and I see what happens. But I'm telling you right now, the way he was able to pull off the win, the substitutions he made that brought out everything and all this kind of stuff, I'm backing him for now.
But just 2 things. I think brilliant submission from Stone, but I'm looking at from these 2 angles. That you look at the build-up to disappointment. I mean, the narrative was that they appoint him because he's a friend of Eto'o, and so you just bring him in, he settled him down. The other thing has to do with, since the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, brilliant. He was there, beat Brazil. What next? Nothing. You compare it to Aliou Cisse, you could see a bit of massive improvement. Look at Lamine Camara from the U20, 17, 20, straight to this side. You look at this Cameroonian side, seems like no improvement. And for me, I mean, he was talking about he's keeping faith in him for now, but kind of like seems like he's going to be sacked if he should lose against Nigeria. And what kind of defeat? Was it? I mean, a close one? Was it a humiliating one? Every defeat is defeat. You can't justify it.
Okay.
And so going into the game against Nigeria, it's very, very key for him. And I'm thinking that for him to keep his job, already he's under pressure. For him to keep his job, he has no option but to beat Nigeria. I think that he got lucky against Guinea, because look at how he won, very scrappy one, but he's able to go through. Now you come up against opposition who also understand how to play the AFCON in the name of Nigeria. Yes, Cameroon have been there before. They've dominated the continent before. Now they have a key man. Abubakar comes into the squad, makes them a bit solidly go into the game. But despite how, Nigeria struggled throughout the group phase, I think that they'll be able to find a way to beat this Cameroonians, because this Cameroonians, I think they are not good enough like when they hosted the AFCON in 2021. And so for me, I think that at least he is under pressure already, and how he came into office, all these things. And if he should lose against Nigeria, I think you expect him to be fired.
Well, one of my favorite African players of all time, my good friend, Rigobert Song, he's the one. He's the man. In a few moments as well, we'll be going through that top 11 that has been put together after the first phase of the competition. But let's get on Zoom and have a conversation with Coach Osman Saidu. Coach Osman Saidu is, a regular pundit here on Joy Sports, and of course has massive thoughts as we go into the second phase of the competition. All right, Coach Osman, I realize you are trying to travel out of Accra now. Thanks for making the time to be with us, Coach. We've had brilliant games played in the first half of this competition. Personally, how would you describe the experience so far? The surprises and all the shocks that we've seen.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel, for this opportunity. It's been thrilling. It's been exciting. Memories are being created every single day to ensure that we are watching football and enjoying football as well. I would like to say that it is very important to note that this has been a very exciting time that we are all experiencing football that we want, football that's so interesting, and we all see what's happening. I would not be surprised if one of the smaller teams pick up the cup for this particular AFCON.
Well, on that score, we would definitely want to talk about Cape Verde. What do you feel Cape Verde have done right? I mean, you are a technical person. What do you feel they've done right from the games you've seen them play so far?
Well, I watched them against Ghana, and trust me, I was not surprised they were able to beat Ghana. They were following the rules of the game. They understood that they are underdogs. They understood that the game is not over until it's over. They were following the principles of defense. They were playing like a team. They organized well. They were pressing very well. And they were at it when they get opportunity at goal. I want to say that it's more of a complete team than that of Ghana. And they are very determined. You could see out of their results, they had 7 points out of the 9 points to be taken. So for me, I think it's becoming more of a complete team, from the technical department to the playing body, and then to the management body of Cape Verde. So I would not be surprised if they go to the extent of playing final at this particular tournament.
Well, some of the big boys have fizzled out. Ghana has fizzled out. And now, recently, Andre Ayew is quoted to have saying that we're not favorites anymore, or we don't have that big boy tag anymore. And it's for very obvious reasons. Between Algeria and Ghana, which one was more surprising for you?
I think Ghana was more surprising for me because, trust me, we have everything it takes to qualify, at least to the next stage. If you look at the caliber of players we have and the experience those players have, and the teams they are playing, with all this European experience and all the standard and La Liga experience, I do not expect us to get out of this tournament with only with only a point and 2 points. I'm a bit disappointed. But hey, let's move on. They have something to do. They should just qualify for the World Cup, and Ghanaians would love them again. It happens in football, and I'm so surprised of that of Ghana than Algeria, because I believe in everything about Ghana. I had a lot of belief in the technical team. I have belief in the players. Kudus alone is like 3 players to manage at a time. We are talking about Jordan Ayew. We're talking about all the big shots in the team, and with all their experience, I did not expect Ghana to be out of the tournament at the group stage. It's not something we should be happy about, and we cannot be happy about it. So I'm very, very disappointed in our performance to that extent. But hey, let's wait and listen. Maybe there is some reasons beyond tactical reasons, and normally these things will come out when they come out of the tournament. But having said all this, I strongly believe that it's a tournament that we could have done better, and it's gone. There is nothing we can do about it. We just have to come home, think about our qualifiers, and see how best we can win those matches to bring back the love to Ghanaians.
Coach, just before you go catch your flight, you've mentioned the possible surprise package that maybe a team that we do not associate with picking trophies will do that this term. Away from that as well, in the instance that that doesn't happen, you have big fixtures coming up, a Nigeria and a Cameroon, and then you have Senegal going up against the host Cote d'Ivoire. These are top liners for the weekend. For you, who else do you see coming out of this and heading towards the ultimate from what you've seen so far?
Apart from the big teams, don't be surprised even if Cote d'Ivoire gets to final because, well, their first match was not a bad match. They lost by 4-0, but they've qualified. Let's see how it goes. But Nigeria and Cameroon is going to be a cracker. Like your panelists were saying, Song has a lot to do. He either wins this match or forget it. But when it comes to Nigeria, I think they also have something to show. Osimhen would like to prove a point, and I think it's going to be a cracker, but I'll go in for Nigeria to win that particular match. Senegal are not living up to expectation the way I want them to play. However, I'm still keeping an eye on them. They are also potential winners of this particular tournament. But Cape should not be ruled out as well. And I think those are the teams that are likely to win this particular tournament.
Coach, we're very grateful to you, and safe flight. We'll catch up when you get back to Accra.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. God bless you.
God bless you too. So Coach Osman Saidu there with his analysis. He's been talking about the possibility of having, a smaller team, as we always tag them, to emerge from this. Now, let's tackle two quick things before we get into the main preview for the big games to expect, for the round of 16 in the weekend. Now, there is the element of, the young player. I'm talking about Senegal's youthful player. We've been talking about him for a bit. And the fact that he's been picked as a player of the first round is a big feather in his cap as a youngster. And that takes us back to 2009, when Ghana also had a crop of youngsters who had gone to win the Under-20 World Cup. What else do you see him doing, going further into this, especially as he's received an accolade such as this?
I think it will serve as a huge motivation for him. Just like what I was earlier on said. This is a young lad. We've seen him under 17, 20. I think he won the best player under 17 and 20 as well. And then he comes here in the first round, picks the best player for the first round. I think it's going to serve as a huge motivation for him. But Mr. Nat, I think that for me, I'm not surprised because I had the opportunity to read how the Senegalese are trying to do their football. They got upon a time, just like the situation Ghana find itself, they paused and then tried to settle down and ask themselves, well, what can we do to, revive the ball, to revive the game? And it's a fantastic piece that I read. How they took their time that this is how we're going to go. They bring in people that are qualified enough to help to revive the game. And so I'm not surprised to see Kamara, 17-20, now here, win the best player. And I think it's fantastic because what they are doing is very much simple. If you go to the 17, you perform, you migrate to the 20. You go to the 20, you perform, you migrate to the main team, maybe the 23 or something like that. But it looked like, just like what you said, I think that Kamara is like the next big thing for African football because hardly will you see a young lad go to an Under-20 tournament, perform, and come straight to the main team and then hits the ground running. It reminds me of Andrea Ayew. Yeah. When Ghana Under-20 won the U20 tournament, went to the World Cup, beat Brazil, and Andrea Ayew came to the Black Stars, hits his ground running. We saw him at the AFCON and then the FIFA World Cup in South Africa. And so for me, I'm not much surprised because what Senegal are doing, everything that they are doing there is. It seems like the philosophy and how they are trying to do their football is working perfectly for them. And so, for me, I'm not much surprised. I think that he's a very talented player, fantastic player. And look at the goals that he scored, the 2 goals that he scored. And just like, that's why all those 2 goals are in the top 10. And so, for me, going forward, I think that it's going to serve as a huge motivation. And I think that the players around him are also going to motivate him, to do more for Senegal as well.
So the best young player of the group stage, Lamine Camara of Senegal there, making his name here and making a big impression here as well. Lamine Camara, mind you, is part of the top 11 who have been selected from the group stage as well. We're going to go through that and, my panelists here are going to tell me what they make of these players as well. But, while we're talking about Camara, while Sami was talking about Camara, I'm just thinking about all the agents and the scouts who are watching this tournament, who've flown into Cote d'Ivoire and are making calls and wanting to do business. We're approaching the summer transfer window gradually.
Arsenal need to make a call. Arsenal, to win the league, make a call.
So there we go. Gelson Dalla of Angola is in here, the only Angolan player. Now, Emilio Nsue of Equatorial Guinea is here. Emilio Nsue has been very key in getting them this far. Do remember that Equatorial Guinea had issues with discussing bonuses with their very flashy vice president, who's still, living on the high ground and smelling the golden roses at the tournament, and also Ismail Assar. Now, there are 3 Senegalese players in here. So Ismail Assar, Lamine Camara, whom we've spoken about already, and Kalidou Koulibaly, very obviously. Now, Morocco have 4, and that doesn't come as a surprise because they came in as the highest rated team.
I don't agree that they should have 4.
Okay, so who do you believe shouldn't be here? So is it Ashraf Hakimi? Is it Amrabat? Is it, Azzedine Wani? Or Naif Aguerd?
I will remove Naif because where's Calvin Bassey? Where's Calvin Bassey?
Are you being biased?
I'm not being biased. That's the reality of life. Calvin Bassey has been one of the most solid defenders at this AFCON. For him not to be here is a travesty, is a disgrace. He should be here. So the back 4 is incomplete without Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey should be in this back 4. Remove somebody, but put him here. Because I believe that if you look at the Nigerian defense, and look at how they played against Cote d'Ivoire, and look at how they played against Equatorial Guinea. It's Equatorial Guinea that gave Cote d'Ivoire 4-0. Calvin Bassey, look at what he did against Cote d'Ivoire. Look at what he did in the last match. Look at what he did. He should be here. So I believe that this back 4 is incomplete. One of them should be out. Calvin Bassey should be here.
So for you, Naif Aguerd should not be here.
Should not be here.
Arthur Masakau is also, Masuaku, sorry.
He was incredible. He was incredible.
He's been incredible. So Emilio Nsue is supported by Jesus Owono.
I don't agree with that goalkeeping position.
Okay. Who would you put here?
I'm going to put the Cape Verdean goalkeeper right there. Okay. Because if you look at Owono had a great first game. Second game, he dipped. And then the third game was a little bit average. Now, you look at the Cape Verdean goalkeeper, had 3 great games. He didn't have any bad game. So, Owono, the hype is that, he went up against Nigeria and Osimhen and all those stuff, and then, he was able to hold his ground and all this stuff. And I understand it. He had a 8.4 rating or so against Nigeria in the first game or something like that. But after that, he was atrocious at some points during the group stage. And you had Emilio Nsue, who had to rescue him many times because of the goals that were being scored and everything like that. I mean, so I'm going to look at it and say he shouldn't be here. The Cape Verdean goalkeeper should be the person that should be here personally. That's what I'm going to put the Cape Verdean goalkeeper. I'm going to put Calvin Bassey. Both of them should be here in this.
All right, so Stone disagrees. I don't know what you also think out there. In goalkeeping is Jesus Owono of Equatorial Guinea. He is one of 2 players from Equatorial Guinea who are in this top 11. Ashraf Hakimi is here. This defensive quartet is made up of Ashraf Hakimi, Kalidou Koulibaly, the Senegalese captain, and Naif Aguerd, as well as Arthur Masuaku of DR Congo. Now, you also do not find Kudus Mohammed, who also picked up a Player of the Match award, when he played 2 times. Yes, exactly. So, in midfield, you've got the trio of Lamine Camara, of course, in the attacking midfield position, Azzedine Unani as well, and then Sofiane Amrabat in the center of the midfield, playing a dual role and backing from the defensive midfield position. So there we have it there. And then on the front 3 is Ismail Assar of Senegal, Emilio Nsue of Equatorial Guinea, and Gelson Dalla. So these are the players. These are the top 11 players so far. Well, probably when we get past the round of 16, we're going to get another rating as well. But it's time to get into the fixtures for the weekend. And there are some top liners, there are some that sure are going to draw massive millions of eyeballs, at the weekend. Let's begin with Namibia and Angola. Namibia have creeped in quietly in this tournament.
Yep. And that's nice, honestly. And I think I must say this. When they came to Ghana here, I had the opportunity. I was at the airport and I met them, myself, Tofik, and some other media guys. And I think I had a very brief chat with Colin Benjamin. And I must say that, I mean, he says something, and I think that, honestly, they were not expecting to get to this stage, because he said that they are also trying to build their football from the scratch. And so even if they exit at a group phase, they wouldn't be bothered, because they're also trying to build their football. But I like the word that you used, they've sneaked in, and I think that they've been wonderful because how they won their first match against South Africa, I think it's crazy how they did it. It was just very, very, brilliant. And moving forward, you saw how they performed. They were not up there, but they were able to play collectively as a unit. They defended very, very well. And for them to find themselves at this place, I think that I'm very much surprised. But coming up against Angola, a very good side, a very tactical side, and a very good side that they can score from all angles. And so I think that it's going to be a proper test for them tomorrow. But I think that is where I think that they are going to end it. Their tournament come at the end against Angola. Because I think that Angola are more strong, they are more disciplined, they are more tactical compared to Colin Benjamin. They've done well so far, but I'm not expecting them to.
All right, let's see if Stone digresses from this point or disagrees with you, because he's one who's been very strong on the Namibian story so far.
Angola is going out. It's pretty much straightforward. If you watch Angola, it is as straightforward as possible. It's ABC. 1 + 1 = 2. Simple. Angola have the weaknesses that are Namibia's strengths. Angola, you want to beat Angola, you counter them. Their left back, right back always go up for attack. And then they don't track back. They are not that fast like Nigerians, Ola Aina to track back. They don't have that kind of speed. And Namibia have the speed of lightning in terms of counter-attack. It's like Cape Verde when they're attacking. So we're going to have a situation whereby maybe we're going to have lots of goals because Angola can shoot from outside the box too, and Angola can play all this 1-2 inside the box and all this kind of stuff. But the problem is going to be, can Namibia play like they played against Tunisia? Or will they go back to the South African way? Because when they played against South Africa, it was just like, what's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, come on now, what's going on? But against Tunisia, they were able to contain. They limited Tunisia, and then they got that goal, which was surprising. And they won 1-0. Now, if they can play their game, which is contain and counter, they will keep a clean sheet against Angola, and it will be embarrassing. It might get to 2-3, 4-0 because Angola, like I said, their weakness is Namibia's strength, but Namibia's weakness is Angola's strength. So it's all about what kind of Namibia are we going to see? But I'm backing Namibia to go up to the next dimension.
Well, let's talk about the next big one, the very big one. This is, the semblance of a final. Now, this one, Nigeria versus Cameroon, it was something else. Do you have any memories from that final that was played in Nigeria when Ghana and Nigeria hosted?
I just have memories of missed penalties. That's all. Missed penalties, you're just going up, just going everywhere. Like I'm looking at it, like what missed penalties? Because I was very young at that point, but I rewatched some clips and everything. Come on now, right? The amount of penalties that we missed that day. Come on, we could build a house with it.
Yeah.
Just
And we spoke about Rigobert's song earlier, and now it places all of this in context because he missed a penalty, didn't he? Rigobert's song on the day missed a penalty before eventually Cameroon recovered to do the magic. But then, he's been there before. He's seen this fixture at the highest point, which is the final, the moment before picking the trophy. And I'm imagining what he'll be telling the boys, especially as they go in as the side that is slightly weaker in terms of form.
Yeah, I think that he's going to tell them exactly what to do because it's just like what he's been there before and he saw it and they've conquered the Nigerians. But I think that he's going to go back to memory lane and to tell those guys how they were able to do it. But then again, Nigeria really didn't start the tournament well, but I think as the tournament progresses, they have also been able to warm themselves into the tournament. But I think that Cameroon, listen, you watch them against Guinea, and I was not convinced at all. I think that they were lucky the third goal of Guineans were ruled out. If not, they would have been out by now. But I think that it's football, and they are now here. But I think that Song is going to inspire them to do exactly what he wants them to do. But I think that they face a very tough opposition because I think that Nigerians really gradually have been able to find their rhythm in this tournament. And I think that it's going to be a very, very difficult game for the Cameroonians. It depends on, I think it depends on how they are going to start the game. If they start on the right foot, I think that they are going to, and they're able to create problems for the Nigerians, then especially also with Abubakar also coming into the side, very serve as a great, motivation for them. It's going to solidify them as well. And so for me, I think that it's going to be an exciting game. Whoever starts well wins this one, because Nigerians, I think that they are not conceding that much. And I think when they lose to the ball, it seems like they are playing a back five or something. And I think that for you to penetrate into that Nigerian defense, very, very difficult. And so whoever started this game right with the right foot, get the goal early and try to protect the back line. And one thing about the Nigerians, they are not scoring much goals. But once they get the ball at the back of your net, forget it, they are done. They're going to sit back and protect that early. And I think that's what they've been able to do. But this Camerooners also, despite they struggling in the group phase, they're able to score goals for fun. And so it's going to be like the other side will get a goal, protect the back line, try as much as possible to frustrate you, not to break the back line. The other side is able to score goals, but also concede as well. And that is Cameroon. And so it's going to be a game where I think that it's going to be about who started right. And so when you're able to start it right, you are good to go. But one side also have a legend there who has seen it all, and that is Cameroon. So it's going to be a game of taking your chances. If you take your chances and you get the goal, then you are good to go.
Before we move on to the next game, Stone, at one stage,
I'm telling you, like, a lot of people were like, oh, I play Cote d'Ivoire, are going to be destroyed and everything. Now that we've qualified and the match is not on a weekday, it's on the weekend. See, first of all, in the morning, everybody does their chores, everything like that. The whole place is going to be bubbly. You understand what I'm saying? Forget about any other thing. The malls, the places that they have TVs, public TVs, all this kind of stuff, the shops, the places that people can gather to watch TV. You know, because people can come to their house and watch TV. I mean, some people are going to invite their friends over, we have drinks, all this kind of stuff ready for the match. Then some people are going to... Now, in some estates that you expect to be, peaceful and quiet, and tranquility, and sorry for you that day. Because tomorrow, once we win, because we're going to win, once we win and they score, because we are going to have Osimhen and senior man Kelechi, because Kelechi has not really done anything. But tomorrow he's going to. I'm sure the coach is keeping him. The way they are warming Abubakar for Cameroon, we are warming Kelechi for Cameroon too. You know what I'm saying? So it's all those estates where there's quietness and everybody's pristine and Mr. This and Dr. This and Professor This and CEO of this and Chief this. Trust me. When Nigeria scores, every accolade you have is thrown into the bush. You're going to see goal. The noise is going to be everywhere. It's going to be chaotic. Now, if we win, or when we win, if it's not, when we win, there's going to be a party till morning. And then, not only that, they get prepared, they go to church. And then the Thanksgiving is at the highest level.
You can imagine. You're a pastor and Nigeria has won, and people are coming to church. The offertory will be very good.
Oh, bro.
All right, so Stone is giving us a graphic feel of what it will be like. And greetings to all of our friends who are also watching us from all the states, different states in Nigeria. And so let's just see how it goes. Stone has given his stamp of approval that it is going to work. It will happen. Well, let's take a look at the other two fixtures. Very briefly. Now, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea.
That's a tricky one, honestly. I think that both sides really kind of like have a dwindling group phase games, and then they come to face each other. But I think that I'm tipping Equatorial Guinea because
Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah, because
very well.
They've been good.
Very well. Now let's come to Egypt and DR Congo. Egypt survived the group stage, and they are here. DR Congo are here as well.
This is where experience comes into play. You understand what I'm saying? Egypt have done it many times. I don't think they're scared of DR Congo. DR Congo, very exciting team, very, run around everything.
And Mo Salah wants to, return if everything goes through.
That's what I'm saying.
There have been reports that they've slaughtered some sheep or something to prevent the Egyptians from, picking up more injuries. So it tells you how determined they are.
The whole thing is set up in such a way that they are ready. So I'm thinking this match that Egypt goes through. Congo, wonderful. You've done well. You've entertained us. We've enjoyed you. Thank you very much for what you've done. But this is where you
have any friends in Congo?
No.
They're not going to serve you. All right, guys. Thanks so much. It's been wonderful. This weekend show is going to be a cracker. And I can't wait for Monday because Monday we'll have so much. First of all, we'll have to hold Stone to his words. And we're hoping, Ghana and Nigeria are brothers,
Yes,
so we'll see how it goes. We're hoping it goes well. It's a tough one for me personally because, Rigobert is my man. Yeah. All right. So thank you all so much. Thanks to Sami Amwesi. Thanks so much to Stone. And thanks to all of you for watching from different parts of the world. We'll be back on Monday to bring you another AFCON today. In the meantime, you stay well and always catch this show on Joy on Joy News, on Joy Prime, and also on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Atto, and I have love for sport.